This presentation is about mastering high leverage productivity, not doing more work, not staying busy, and not trying to optimize everything at once. It is about identifying the small percentage of actions that actually drive results and then intentionally structuring your time around those actions. Most people believe productivity means managing everything on their plate. In reality, productivity means deciding what does not belong on the plate at all. The Pareto priority is a strategic framework for identifying the 20% of work that produces 80% of outcomes and then protecting that work from distraction. If you feel constantly busy but rarely effective, the framework will explain why that happens and how to correct it. The trap of mindless busyness. There's a fundamental difference between busyness and effectiveness, and most professionals confuse the two. Busyness is defined by high effort and low yield. It looks like long hours, constant motion, and endless task switching. Effectiveness, by contrast, is defined by targeted effort and high yield. It produces meaningful progress with far less activity. The Pareto principle explains this clearly. A minority of your efforts are responsible for the majority of your results. Yet most people spend their days responding to what feels urgent instead of investing important. True effectiveness requires learning how to distinguish between motion and progress, and then choosing progress consistently, finding the signal in the noise. Every day presents an overwhelming number of possible tasks. Emails, meetings, requests, ideas, and obligations all compete for your attention simultaneously. The problem is not that you lack options. The problem is that you lack filters. Without a filtering system, everything feels important. When everything feels important, nothing receives the focus it deserves. High leverage productivity begins when you intentionally separate signal from noise. By applying a series of structured filters, you can remove distractions and allow only the essential 20% of tasks to remain. This is the difference between reacting to your day and directing it. Filter 1. Weigh every task against your future. The first filter is alignment with your future. Every task must be evaluated against the life you are intentionally building across health, wealth, and relationships. Before committing to any action, you must ask whether this specific task moves you closer to that future or further away from it. If an opportunity does not serve your long-term vision, it does not belong in your highest priorities, regardless of how urgent, profitable, or socially acceptable it may appear. Alignment is the foundation of leverage. Without alignment, effort is wasted, even when intentions are good. Filter 2. Escape. The urgency trap. Urgency is one of the most deceptive forces in modern work. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention, but they rarely create long-term value. Important tasks, on the other hand, often feel quiet and easy to postpone, yet they are the ones that shape your future. Growth occurs in the space of important but not urgent work. Strategic planning, skill development, and health all live here. When you fail to protect time for this growth zone, preventable crises eventually fill the gap. Escaping the urgency trap requires deliberately prioritizing the future before urgency dictates your schedule. Filter 3. Plotting your return on investment. Not all tasks deserve equal treatment. Every responsibility has a cost in effort and a return in impact. Some tasks produce high impact with relatively little effort. Others require significant effort but deliver meaningful results. Many tasks, however, consume energy while providing little or no value. These tasks are time sinks. When you treat all tasks as equal, your energy becomes diluted. When you evaluate tasks based on impact and effort, execution becomes intentional instead of reactive. Optimizing execution strategy. Once tasks are categorized, execution becomes clearer and more efficient. Quick wins should be executed early in the day to build momentum and reinforce progress. Major projects should be scheduled during your peak energy hours when focus and cognitive capacity are highest. Time sinks must be eliminated or delegated entirely. Allowing them to persist quietly drains energy that could otherwise be invested in high impact work. Execution is not about speed, it is about placing the right work at the right time. Filter 4. The one thing question. The most powerful question you can ask yourself is this: what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? This question identifies keystone habits and leverage points. Instead of solving problems individually, you focus on the action that unlocks progress across multiple areas simultaneously. High performers do not push every domino. They find the first one and allow momentum to do the rest. Filter 5. Confront reality with data. Feelings are unreliable. Data is not. Most people believe they understand how they spend their time, but without measurement, those beliefs are often inaccurate. A time audit replaces assumptions with evidence. By tracking your time in 30-minute increments for 1 week, patterns become visible. Tasks can be categorized as high impact, support, maintenance, or waste. This clarity makes reallocation possible. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Data reveals the truth, and truth enables change. From insight to reallocation, data often reveals an uncomfortable reality. High impact activities usually account for a surprisingly small percentage of actual time spent. The solution is not to add more hours to the day. The solution is to reallocate existing hours. Time must be moved out of maintenance and waste and intentionally redirected into high impact work. High leverage productivity is not about working longer, it is about shifting energy toward what matters most. Filter 6, the hell yeah threshold. The final filter is a binary decision rule. For new opportunities and daily requests, the question is simple. If it does not significantly advance your vision or genuinely excite you, the answer is no. Eliminating good opportunities creates the depth required for great ones. Every yes consumes time, energy, and attention. Without this filter, focus erodes and priorities blur. Clarity requires courage, and courage often looks like saying no. From activity to achievement. High leverage productivity is not about working harder. It is about the relentless application of these filters to ensure your energy is applied where it produces the greatest return. When you align tasks with your future, escape urgency, evaluate impact, focus on keystone actions, measure reality, reallocate time, and apply the hell yeah threshold, productivity stops being confusing. Activity turns into achievement, motion turns into progress, and effort finally compounds. The first step is simple. Start your time audit today. If you've made it this far, you already know something most people refuse to admit. Success is not about talent, it is not about motivation, and it is definitely not about working harder than everyone else. The real separator between people who win long term and people who stay stuck is time management. The winners learn how to control their time, their attention, and their energy. Everyone else lets their environment control them. When you do not manage your time intentionally, years pass without meaningful progress. That is how people lose in life. Not all at once, but slowly through inaction and poor prioritization. If you are serious about changing that trajectory, I want to invite you to work with me one-on-one through my Success Fast Track coaching. For your first month, you pay nothing. You get a full month of coaching completely free so we can fast track your success before you spend a single penny. During that time, we identify your true high leverage priorities, eliminate distractions, and build a time management system that actually works in the real world. This is not theory. This is not motivation. This is execution. If you continue doing what you are doing now, your results will not magically change. But if you learn how to manage your time with precision, everything else becomes easier. Your income improves, your health improves, your relationships improve, momentum replaces stress. If you are done drifting and ready to take control, apply for one-on-one coaching using the link below. Claim your free month. Prove to yourself what is possible when your time finally works for you instead of against you. The cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of change. Make the decision today.